I grew up in a small shithole town, and I can cuss on here, right? In Texas. I assume I can.
Oh,
Um,
please, we fucking love it.
okay, great. And um, and I couldn't wait to get out. I wanted to be on Broadway, and since I was a kid, so I moved to New York. I got my theater degree, and I graduated, and I was 24, and I was like, why am I not on Broadway yet? I mean, yeah, just like I need to be on Broadway. Like, what? I'm 24. Like, my life is flashing before my eyes. And
I'm so old now.
but at the time, I just couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure out why. Like, I did not want to move back to Texas. Ironic. And um, I was like, how do I make this happen? And I was like just struggling. I couldn't get, I was working regionally, but I really wanted to be on Broadway. And I was like, I just would go and I would get called back and I wouldn't book or something would happen. And I wasn't handling it well, like emotionally. And I just knew something was up. And I went to therapy through the Actors Fund, now the Entertainment Community Fund. I found a therapist who is still my therapist to this day.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I got my therapist and I went to therapy and I was like, I black out like once a week, but I just assume everybody does. Like so that just seems normal to me. Like to just
Yeah.
like totally not remember what happened the night before. And he was like, "Do you think you have a drinking problem?" And I was like, "No, it's my mom. Like, it's my like." I was like blaming every issue. And he said, "Well, if you don't have a drinking problem, then why don't you not drink for like, a week and see how it goes?" And I couldn't do it. I was like, "Oh,
Wow.
wow." I think I could go like 3 days, and I was like, just really wanted some wine, and that was when I started to realize, okay, maybe this is something getting in the way. So why don't I just try like giving myself 90 days? And I think I went like, I think the longest I got was like maybe 2 weeks. And I called a friend of mine who I knew in the program and I said, I'm struggling. And he said, just remember, you don't have to do it alone. And so I started going to meetings,
Mm.
and that's how I accumulated some time, one day at a time. And in my therapy, the term I used to my therapist was like, I just don't feel like I'm meeting my potential. I just want to meet my potential, and I just don't know how to do it. Anyway, within 3 months of getting sober, I booked my first Broadway show.
Wow. It's wild how we don't see how we're sabotaging ourselves until we step out
Hmm.
of the box that we've put ourselves in.
Stephen, what's your story?
Yeah.
I mean, Brett sounds so planned out and like he really knew what was going on. I, on the other hand, was a total disaster. And at the time, I was a principal dancer at the New York City Ballet, and I was, living my dream, and also at the height of a really bad drinking and drug addiction, and I was just unable to show up. I mean, I couldn't show up, because I would go out to have like a drink that would turn into like a 2-day bender. So
Wow.
Wow.
I was just, I was a mess. Um, so mine wasn't as like, there was no thought. I was hanging on for dear life. I was about to lose everything. And I I knew that I needed help. Like I knew that either I was about to lose everything or I was going to die or something really, really bad was going to happen if I didn't change what I was doing. It was basically like an intervention from my family, and so I finally made it to rehab after basically I had disappeared for a couple of days and they couldn't find me. So I went to rehab, and I always tell this story because my brother drove me there. He just said to me, because I obviously didn't want to go, and it was a horrible moment. But he was just like, nothing bad is going to happen from this, only good. And he was right.